There are moments in life when you feel something or someone arrives at the perfect time. Maybe it feels random, maybe it feels like luck. But today I want you to understand something with absolute clarity. There are no coincidences, not in your journey, not in your growth, not in your suffering, and not in your becoming. Every person who steps into your life carries a message. Every challenge you meet contains a lesson. Every test you face is an invitation to evolve. Think back to the hardest moments you've endured. At the time they felt unfair, heavy, maybe even impossible. But look at you now. You survived. You adapted. You learned. You were being shaped. Life doesn't hand you obstacles to break you. It hands you obstacles to reveal you. The question is not, why is this happening to me? The real question is, what is this trying to awaken within me? When someone hurts you, life is teaching you boundaries. When someone supports you, life is teaching you boundaries. When someone supports you, life is teaching you boundaries. When someone supports you, life is teaching you boundaries. When someone supports you, life is teaching you boundaries. When someone supports you, life is teaching you boundaries. When someone supports you, life is teaching you boundaries. When someone supports you, life is teaching you boundaries. When someone supports you, life is teaching you boundaries. When someone supports you, life is teaching you boundaries. When someone supports you, life is teaching you boundaries. When someone supports you, life is teaching you boundaries. When someone supports you, life is teaching you boundaries. When someone supports you, life is teaching you boundaries. When someone supports you, life is teaching you boundaries. When someone supports you, life is teaching you boundaries. When someone supports you, life is teaching you boundaries. When is teaching you trust. When someone challenges you, life is teaching you strength. When you lose something, life is teaching you gratitude. And when you fail, life is preparing you for victory. Nothing enters your path without purpose, not the people, not the tests, not the timing, but purpose without awareness is wasted. You must learn to pause, observe, and understand, because moment you become conscious of the meaning behind your experiences, you stop surviving life and start mastering it. Only teachers, only transformation. Tall in your journey. Welcome the teachers disguised as strangers. Welcome the lessons disguised as struggles. Welcome the tests disguised as setbacks. And now your moment has arrived. Here is your call to action. Step forward with intention. Stop asking for an easier path. Ask for a stronger mind. Look at every event in your life and say, this is here for me, not against me. Then move with purpose, courage, and gratitude, because there are no coincidences, only opportunities. Every person who steps into your life carries a message. This idea may seem simple at first, but when you observe your life closely, you begin to see how profoundly true it is. Think about the individuals who have appeared unexpectedly, sometimes for a brief moment, sometimes staying long enough to alter the course of your entire journey. Each of them has contributed in some way to your understanding of yourself and the world. Some have encouraged you, revealing your hidden strengths. Others have challenged you, exposing the parts of yourself you tried to avoid. And a few, perhaps the most impactful, have hurt you, forcing you to confront pain, boundaries, or unresolved wounds you were not yet ready to admit existed. But in every case, the encounter was not accidental. It was reflective of a deeper need, a lesson, or a shift that life was preparing you to experience. Often, the message someone brings into your life is not wrapped in comfort. It may arrive in the form of discomfort, conflict, or misunderstanding. The friend who disappoints you teaches you not to outsource your happiness. The mentor who pushes you past your limits teaches you that your potential is far greater than you realized. The person who leaves without explanation teaches you the difference between attachment and acceptance, and the stranger whose kindness comes at a moment you needed it most teaches you to believe again in humanity, even when you were on the verge of giving up. Each message is unique, and each message is necessary, because it reveals something you could not have discovered alone. These individuals are like mirrors placed strategically on your path. Some reflect the parts of you that are strong and capable, reminding you of qualities you may overlook in yourself. Others reflect the shadows you carry, the fears, insecurities, or patterns you try to ignore, so you can finally confront them and rise above them. Without these human mirrors, growth would be slow and incomplete. You might still move forward, but you would do so without the clarity and self-awareness that real transformation requires. Life uses people as instruments to show you what you need to see, at the moment you need to see it, even if you do not understand the message until much later. Sometimes the message is subtle, and only time reveals its meaning. You may meet someone who appears insignificant in the moment, only to realize years later that a single sentence they spoke, a small gesture they made, or a piece of advice they shared became a turning point in your evolution. Other times the message comes abruptly and powerfully, shaking you out of complacency and forcing you into a new phase of life. Whether gentle or intense, every message serves the same purpose: to guide you closer to the person you are meant to become. Every challenge you meet contains a lesson, though when you are standing face to face with difficulty, that truth often feels distant or even impossible to believe. Challenges rarely announce themselves as teachers. They arrive disguised as pressure, discomfort, confusion, or loss. They enter your life at the moments you feel least prepared, pushing you beyond the comfortable borders you have built around yourself. Yet these very experiences, the ones that shake your confidence and force you to confront your limits, are the ones that shape your character in ways nothing else can. Growth never comes gently. It comes through being stretched, tested, questioned, and reshaped by circumstances that demand something more from you than who you were yesterday. When you encounter a challenge, it is easy to see only the obstacle. You may think life is working against you, trying to slow you down or break your momentum, but every challenge is actually a doorway. It invites you to pause and understand what is being asked of you. Sometimes the lesson is resilience, the ability to get up each time you fall, not with bitterness but with a deeper sense of inner strength. Other times the lesson is patience, teaching you that not everything unfolds at the speed of your desire. There are challenges that test your humility, reminding you that you do not know everything, and that learning often begins where certainty ends. And then there are challenges that reveal your courage, showing you that you are capable of facing far more than you once believed. Challenges also reveal what you truly value. When things are easy, your priorities can become blurred. Your discipline can soften, and your motivation can grow dull. But when you are tested, you begin to see clearly. The struggle exposes what matters to you, what you are willing to fight for, and what is worth letting go. It forces you to confront the habits, relationships, and beliefs that may no longer serve you. In this way, challenges act as a refining fire. They burn away what is unnecessary, so the essential parts of you can shine stronger and brighter. Without these moments of friction, you would remain unchanged, trapped in routines that limit your potential and cloud your purpose. There is also a lesson in adaptability. Challenges push you to think differently, respond differently, and become more flexible in your approach to life. They show you that you are not meant to stay rigid, clinging to outdated versions of yourself. Each difficulty pushes you into a new level of resourcefulness, teaching you how to adjust, improvise, and discover new strategies. Through this process, you learn that your strength is not just in your endurance but in your willingness to evolve. Over time, you begin to trust your ability to navigate uncertainty, because you understand that every challenge you conquer becomes a reference point, a reminder that you have overcome before and can overcome again. Most importantly, challenges teach you to meet yourself honestly. They expose your fears, your doubts, and your vulnerabilities, not to weaken you but to give you the opportunity to transform them. You learn who you are when everything is easy, but you discover who you truly are when everything is tested. When you look at the tests that appear in your life, it becomes clear that they are not random obstacles thrown into your path. They are invitations to evolve into a higher version of yourself. Life does not test you to expose your weaknesses, it tests you to awaken your strengths. Each test is like a quiet whisper pushing you toward your next stage of growth, even if in the moment it feels overwhelming or unfair. These tests often show up at times when you feel unprepared, but that is precisely why they matter. If you already felt ready, it wouldn't be a test, it would be a routine. The power of a test lies in its ability to stretch you, challenge your assumptions, and break open the parts of you that have been dormant for far too long. Some tests arrive through emotional turmoil. A sudden conflict, a disappointment, or an unexpected change forces you to confront emotional landscape. You begin to see the patterns that have controlled you: reactivity, avoidance, overthinking, or fear, and life uses this turmoil to push you toward emotional maturity. Other tests come through responsibility, the kind that requires discipline, consistency, and accountability. When life places a heavy weight on your shoulders, it isn't punishing you, it's preparing you. Responsibility tests your resolve and asks whether you can show up even when motivation fades. Through these moments you learn that growth is not about perfection, it's about persistence. There are also tests that focus on your beliefs. Sometimes life brings you situations that challenge what you think you know about yourself. Perhaps you believe you're not strong enough, capable enough, or deserving enough. Then a situation arises that demands strength, capability, or self-worth, and you are forced to either rise or retreat. When you choose to rise, even shakily, you break the old belief and replace it with a new truth. These belief-based tests are some of the most transformative because they shift your internal landscape. Once the mind changes, the path ahead changes with it. Tests also reveal your level of alignment. When you are moving in a direction that does not serve your deeper purpose, life often places obstacles in your way to redirect you. At first, this can feel like frustration or misfortune, but over time you begin to realize that the test was guiding you, not blocking you. A closed door, a failed attempt, a detour, or a sudden ending can all be tests meant to realign you with something more fitting for your growth. These moments teach you to trust timing, trust direction, and trust the unseen forces that shape your path. Another layer of testing lies in relationships. People enter your life as tests too. Some to test your patience, some to test your compassion, some to test your boundaries, and some to test your ability to let go. You learn that not everyone is meant to stay, but everyone is meant to teach. When you understand this, the pain of transitions becomes easier to bear because you realize the purpose behind the presence and the purpose behind the departure. These relational tests help you develop emotional wisdom, clarity, and balance. Every test also invites you to choose who you want to be. In moments of pressure, your character is revealed. Do you respond with anger or understanding? Do you choose fear or courage? Do you reveal series of experiences designed to shape, teach, and elevate you? When you begin to see purpose behind every encounter, you start to notice a pattern, a web of interconnected moments that, when viewed from a higher perspective, reveals a guiding intelligence at work in your life. This perspective transforms the way you approach obstacles, relationships, and decisions, because you no longer perceive them as inconveniences or accidents, but as deliberate steps on the path of your evolution. Every situation, no matter how trivial it seems in the moment, carries meaning. The conversation that irritates you may be teaching patience or empathy. The sudden loss may be redirecting you to something far greater than you can currently see. The person who challenges you may exist in your life specifically to trigger growth in an area you have ignored for too long. When you realize that nothing is random, you start to notice that life is always speaking to you, offering lessons, nudges, and mirrors to reflect your true potential. Purpose is woven into both the joy and the suffering, and recognizing it allows you to navigate life with clarity rather than confusion. This principle also applies to timing. Sometimes events happen earlier or later than we expect, and it is tempting to view delays or early arrivals as coincidences or misfortune. Yet timing is one of the most precise expressions of purpose. Life often orchestrates events so that the moment of impact aligns perfectly with your level of readiness. What may feel like a setback or a delay is often a necessary alignment, ensuring that when the challenge, person, or opportunity arrives, you are fully capable of receiving and integrating the lesson it brings. Understanding this requires patience, trust, and a willingness to see beyond immediate discomfort. Purpose is not always easy to discern, and many lessons are hidden beneath layers of difficulty. Often the same situation can have multiple purposes, some of which may only become apparent years later. A failure that devastates you in one moment may later prove to be the catalyst for an entirely new trajectory in your career or personal life. A relationship that ends painfully may have existed to teach you self-respect, emotional resilience, or the importance of boundaries. The key is to approach life with a mindset that looks for meaning rather than mere circumstance, to train yourself to ask, what is this here to teach me? Instead of dynamic process where every experience is a stepping stone toward your greater evolution. The recognition of purpose transforms fear into opportunity, chaos into clarity, and struggle into a deliberate path of growth. Why is this happening to me? Purpose also demands active participation. Life does not simply hand you lessons, you must engage with them. Observing purpose requires reflection, discernment, and the courage to act in alignment with what you learn. When you treat each encounter, each challenge, and each test as purposeful, you begin to develop a sense of mastery over your own life. You stop feeling like a passive player being tossed around by fate and instead become an active participant in every test, challenge, and encounter in life invites you to choose who you want to become, and this choice is the most powerful aspect of your journey. Life does not simply place obstacles in your path to measure you, it places them to reveal the depths of your character and to give you the opportunity to consciously decide how you will respond. At every critical moment you are presented with options, to react with fear or courage, to respond with bitterness or compassion, to retreat or advance. These moments are not random, they are deliberate invitations to step into a higher version of yourself. The power lies not in avoiding difficulties, but in embracing them, understanding their purpose, and using them as tools for self-discovery and growth. When faced with a difficult situation, most people instinctively seek the path of least resistance. It is human nature to avoid pain and discomfort, but those who understand the lessons embedded in life's challenges see that the true value comes from engaging with the difficulty fully, not circumventing it. Choosing to confront obstacles directly forces you to develop qualities that cannot be cultivated in comfort: resilience, patience, emotional intelligence, problem-solving skills, and the ability to navigate uncertainty. Every decision in response to a challenge becomes a building block in the foundation of your future self, shaping how you will face the next test, the next relationship, the next unexpected event. This choice extends beyond individual challenges and into the relationships and people who enter your life. When someone tests your patience, loyalty, or compassion, you have the opportunity to decide who you will be in that interaction. Will you respond with anger or understanding, defensiveness or empathy? Every interaction is a reflection of your inner state and an opportunity to consciously practice the virtues you wish to embody. Over time, these choices accumulate, shaping not only your character, but also the quality of your relationships and the environment you create around you. Life is essentially a series of mirrors, and the way you respond to each reflection determines the clarity and strength of your vision for yourself. Choosing who you want to become also requires awareness of your beliefs and mindset. Challenges and tests often reveal limiting beliefs, self-doubt, and fears that have quietly governed your actions. The conscious choice is to confront these mental barriers, question, redefine your identity, to move from victimhood to agency, from indecision to clarity, from fear to courage. In this way, life is continuously offering you opportunities to rewrite your internal narrative, if only you are willing to make the choice to engage consciously and courageously. The beauty of this principle is that it applies to both large and small moments. It is not only the life-altering events that shape you, but also the everyday decisions, how you respond to minor frustrations, and small acts of kindness, fleeting opportunities, and casual encounters. Each choice compounds, creating a momentum that propels you toward the person you are meant to become. By recognizing that life constantly provides these invitations, you begin to see yourself not as a passive participant, but as an active creator of your own destiny. Every decision matters, every response matters, and the awareness that you always have the choice empowers you to move through life with purpose, intention, and unwavering commitment to your growth. Every moment in life is an opportunity for transformation, and the way you respond to experiences ultimately determines the trajectory of your growth. While people, challenges, and tests enter your life to teach and awaken you, the true power lies in your ability to act on the insights they provide. Transformation is not a passive process. It requires deliberate effort, conscious reflection, and a willingness to step into discomfort. Life provides the circumstances, but it is your engagement, your choices, and your commitment to learning that convert experiences into lasting growth. Without action, lessons remain abstract, insights remain dormant, and potential remains unrealized. Transformation begins with awareness. To evolve, you must first recognize the patterns, triggers, and messages embedded in your life. This involves observing yourself with honesty and curiosity, noticing how you react to challenges, how you interact with people, how you interpret setbacks. Awareness is the foundation of all change because it allows you to see where you are now, where you want to go, and the obstacles that lie in your path. When you cultivate this clarity, every encounter, every hardship, and every success becomes a guidepost rather than a random event. Awareness transforms the chaotic experiences of life into a coherent map, revealing the lessons and the actions needed to progress. Action is the next critical step. Recognizing a lesson is not enough. You must integrate it into your life. Every test you face, every challenge you overcome, and every person who impacts you provides a template for growth, but only through action does that template solidify into real transformation. Action can take many forms: changing a habit, embracing a new mindset, setting boundaries, pursuing a goal, or letting go of what no longer serves you. Even small, consistent steps compound over time, creating momentum that propels you toward your highest potential. In essence, transformation is the bridge between awareness and mastery, and that bridge is built with deliberate, persistent effort. Equally important is the willingness to embrace discomfort. Growth rarely occurs within the comfort zone. Life's most powerful lessons often appear in situations that test your patience, resilience, courage, and emotional intelligence. To transform, you must lean into these moments, endure the struggle, and extract the wisdom embedded in the experience. Resistance is natural, but resisting change only prolongs stagnation. When you choose to confront discomfort and act despite fear, you expand the boundaries of what is possible, reinforcing your capacity to navigate future challenges with confidence and clarity. Transformation is also cumulative. Each experience, each choice, and each action builds on the previous ones, creating a trajectory of continuous evolution. The person you become today is the sum of every decision you have made, every lesson you have absorbed, and every challenge you have faced. By consciously engaging with life's tests and lessons, you accelerate your growth and align more closely with your true potential. Over time, you develop a sense of mastery over your experiences, recognizing that nothing is wasted and everything contributes to your evolution. Finally, transformation demands accountability. You cannot wait for circumstances to change or for someone else to guide you. You must take ownership of your life, your choices, and your development. The path to transformation is available to anyone willing to commit fully to learning from every encounter, challenge, and test. By embracing this responsibility, you step into your power, actively shaping the person you are becoming and turning life's experiences into catalysts for profound, lasting change.